Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about how you can increase your rankings through topical content. So I think it would be helpful if we elaborate on what this means exactly. Neil, what are your thoughts on what topical content actually is?
Sure. When you look at most websites or content pages, they talk about any sort of topic. Now, for this example, let's use Abraham Lincoln. What most websites do is, if their website is specifically on Abraham Lincoln, they'll go create a page about him and his presidency. They'll go create another page about slavery. They'll create all these topics and pages about Abraham Lincoln versus just creating one thorough page that discusses everything about Abraham Lincoln. And a good example of this is Wikipedia. When you Google Abraham Lincoln, that page was originally like around 4,000 or 5,000 words. Now I believe it's around 15,000 words. Instead of creating tons of pages about him, they made that one page more in-depth. And also when I mean topical, when people discuss Abraham Lincoln, let's say if it's a website just on Abraham Lincoln, some sites will say, all right, let's also talk about other presidents who are noteworthy, right? They'll start also talking about things that aren't related to Abraham Lincoln as much. For example, they may talk about his experience in the White House and other presidents' experience in the White House or what they did for protection or the Secret Service, etc. So it's not as relevant compared to content that's just purely on Abraham Lincoln, his life, marriage, education, right? What he did before he was president, what he did after, right? What he did, he was executed, no?
He was assassinated.
Assassinated, yeah, not executed, that's what I meant. I should know this. But he was assassinated. I'm like, you can't really talk about what he did after presidency. But yeah, so that's very thorough. If you do that, you're much more likely to rank higher. Versus if you just created like 50 pages.
Yeah, and there's good data around this. You might think, we're talking all theory right now. I would suggest that if you go on Google the word hub and spoke. So HUB and spoke. And then you can see that this writer, he has some information about how he basically combined his posts and then started to just make like one big resource and link to his other resources. So the idea, behind this, even if you Google the keyword online marketing, or online marketing is what you rank high for, right? That's number one or number two for you?
Number 1 and 2, depending on the site.
So number 1 and 2, Neil ranks really highly. And if you look at one of his resources, he's got that super epic guide. There's one hub page that, there's all the links going to, and then he links to a bunch of other chapters as well.
But you want to hear something interesting about that?
Yes.
So the page on Neil Patel that's about online marketing is nowhere near as thorough as the one on QuickSprout. And they switch positions all the time between 1 and 2. Can you guess which one gets more traffic? The Neil Patel one's around 5,000 words, and the one on QuickSprout's around 30,000 if you combine all the pages.
So I'm going to go the other way and say 5,000.
That's correct, 5,000. Guess why?
Why?
It's really thorough and it's all on one page.
There you go. And so actually, we did an exercise where Neil was talking about how you shouldn't have like a lot of pages kind of sitting on their own. So what we did was we started consolidating our pages into one. And, using Neil Patel's or Neil's Abraham Lincoln example, if you look at Wikipedia, that post originally started with 5,000 words. And then Digital Marketer talks about this example quite a bit. And it just keeps getting upgraded and upgraded over time. You keep doing that. That's also good for you because Google's going to see it and it's going to refresh for you too. So when you focus it on one page, it makes things easier. It's also a better experience too. But just using another example, if you Google what is conversion rate optimization, Qualaroo has a good example of there's kind of like all in one page, and then it links to a bunch of other chapters related to conversion rate optimization. Neil, do you have any other thoughts around topical content?
Yeah, the key is it's not about producing the most amount of content. It's about producing the most thorough content. So let's say you're a pizza shop in New York. Google wants you to cover on that page, ID like pizza shop in New York, toppings, dough, do you have cheese in there, temperature that you're cooking the pizza at, type of oven you're using to cook the pizza, how long it stays warm in your bag, right? Like the delivery bag, for example. They want to talk about all the condiments that go with pizza that can make it taste amazing. different sizes, right? That's the example of being thorough. They don't want you to just talk about the pizza and the price. So the more thorough you get, the better off you're going to rank. And what we're seeing, and we're doing a lot of research on this, I'll be publishing a blog post soon. When you have something that's really in-depth and thorough, you can typically generate quite a bit of visitors. We're seeing it around like 4 to 6 months. It takes a while to kick in.
So when you're going about writing topical content, don't just extend your post just for the sake of doing it. Just because people are saying you should write more in-depth content doesn't mean you're just going to write a bunch of fluff and you think you're going to start to rank all of a sudden. I see that mistake happen quite a bit. And I do recommend, this is a resource we talked about quite a bit, but this is when Brian Deed did a study on 1 million SEO results, and he started to see that typically the top 3 results are going to be longer form, generally around 2,000 words or so. And then SERP IQ, they did a test a couple of years ago. They found that the top 3 are generally around 2,500 words. So that's what you want to. You're going to see a lot of marketers, especially in the marketing space. They're going more in depth just because guys like Neil are talking about it all the time. From my side, I think that's it around topical content. Neil, is there anything to add from your side before we hop off?
No, we pretty much covered it all. It's actually not that complex. You guys get it now. Don't worry about adding a ton of web pages to your site. Just make sure that they're really relevant and you're going in-depth and covering everything around that topic, and you're not going too broad. You may say, hey, what about Huffington Post? Huffington Post covers everything and they do well. Well, Huffington Post has a ton of domain authority and a lot of backlinks. So what they can do isn't what you can do.
All right, that's it for this episode of Marketing School. We'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.